Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to part 2 of the video Opinions. My name's Keila and I'll be your host today. Of course, they're just my opinions. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law in this country, and thank God for that. In part 1, we covered Candus's timeline, Grandma's timeline, Candus's lack of emotion, Dawn saying that it's elusive. We got some definitions of elusive and impossible. We had a clip of Dawn talking about there being no evidence. We went over the truck. We went over Summer's shaved head. And that brings us to part 2. I was going to put it all in one video, but it was getting really long, and I hate to do that to anybody, especially with an interview that I know that y'all have watched over and over and over again. But every time I watch it, I hear something new. And I want y'all to really notice their facial expressions in this, especially in part 2, because Dawn has got some pain going on. And also, you can see the way that he is trying to stay with the story. Candus, too, she just goes through it sentence by sentence. There's no deviation for her. She shows some pain also. I want you to watch her facial expressions really closely. I want you to notice a lot of things in this video and leave comments. Let's discuss it. Let's get started.
Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way.
So here he talks about he knows that she's been abducted. Again, watch his facial expressions very closely. I've tried to put arrows where I've noticed a lot, but I don't put them in every place, or there would be arrows through the whole video. But with his abductive theory, my opinion, just my opinion, entertainment purposes only, not fact, everyone innocent till proven guilty, is that if he could put everybody on an abduction trail, it takes the heat off of him and Candus. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of abducted is take someone away by force or deception, kidnap. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of accident is an unfortunate incident that happens unexpectedly and unintentionally, typically resulting in damage or injury. An event that happens by chance or that is without apparent or deliberate cause. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of cover up is an attempt to prevent people from discovering the truth about a serious mistake or crime. And finally, according to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of crime is an action or omission that constitutes an offense that may be prosecuted by the state or federal law enforcement and is punishable by law and or imprisonment. That's really all I can say about his statement about the abduction. If she was abducted, I will publicly apologize to them for thinking that it was an accident and they disposed of her. That's my number one theory. is that something happened at that swimming hole. Hypothermia, most likely. I agree with another creator on that. She passed away by the time Candus met Don, wherever she met him. And they were too scared to report it because they hate the police. They probably both would have been dirty on a drug screen. CPS was already involved. They were already coming to the house. There's just so many factors and so many motives to not call the police. So let's move to the next clip.
For the person or persons that's doing that, out of love, trying to get information and trying to get her found. We thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
That means a lot.
And we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And she's an awesome young lady, and we just want her back. But, there's always going to be haters, and it's always going to be that way in this world. And we just want to focus on the good friends and Christian people that are trying to help us and praying for us and praying for Summer. And we thank them from the bottom of our hearts. And that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with. So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. Because we just try to be around good people.
Well, there he goes again with, we don't know nothing about that red truck. That's that red herring, huh? Don't nobody know nothing about that red truck, but that's not what they said before. Because now Candus has come out and said she knows exactly who has a red truck, Jody Sue's mother. Speaking of Jody Sue, Don said they just try to be around good people. They don't hardly know none of their neighbors. Well, according to Jody Sue, they know her husband pretty well. Don does. Evidently, according to H, Candus does too. He texts her and says it's done. So, we don't know our neighbors. We don't know nothing about the red truck. And we just want to be around good Christian people. Your neighbors have been your neighbors for years. Obviously, they've been pretty good to you. I don't think they've ever really give you too much trouble. You might not have always got along, but they really ain't done too much to you, have they? But you blamed your neighbor Fred. You blamed Jody Sue and her husband Andy. You blamed your co-worker Dudley. You blamed the drug addicts. You blamed the RSOs, which you had one living in your house with you. You had one in there with all four of your children, which I still am blown away by. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But that's y'all's baby. And she's beautiful. And we need to find her. And like I said, whether you had anything to do with her going missing or not, you knew that CPS couldn't get a hold of her. You knew that would be bad. I guess the people who did take her would be worried about going to prison, because in Tennessee, a child under 8 years old that's been abused or neglected or anything like that you get charged with, it becomes a felony if they're under 8. And she was the only child left in your home that was under 8 years old. It just blows my mind. I understand why you wouldn't want to call the police if it was an accident. I understand that fear. I do. I've been out there. This ain't my first rodeo. I totally understand that fear. But sometimes you have to just swallow it and man up and put your big girl panties on or whatever, and you have to do what's right. This girl deserves better. She deserves to come home. She deserves to be at peace. She deserves to rest. Enough of my opinion, y'all. Let's move on to the next clip.
And we do have good people in this area. We found out since this has all happened. We got some real good neighbors and good folks everywhere. But
the most important thing is to bring Summer home safe. I'm sorry that you feel this way about us, but we love our children with everything we have. We've never went without, thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband. He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can, and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around. Ever.
Okay, more confusing dialogue. Treat her like what? As long as you was around forever, ever. You were around. You had her with you that day, all day. Treat her like what? What are you trying to say here, Candus? What exactly are you trying to say right here? She was in your care all day long. If your timeline's correct and you were planting flowers and you turned around from 2 to 5 minutes, then went back to the house and she was just poof, gone, vanished into thin air. Or if your mother's timeline is correct and you got in that truck and you went down the road and you met Dawn and you come back at 5:30 and minutes later you were screaming Summer was gone. Who would treat her like what? Treat her like what? Nobody would ever not take her to the emergency room when she needed to go. No one would not dispose of her after she had perished. No one would, I don't know, maybe not SA her, maybe not physically abuse her, maybe not come to and knock her across the room or something. I mean, come on. Treat her like whatever if you was there. You was there. You were there the entire time, the entire day. So explain to me exactly what happened to her or who done it to her or something. Candus, I want to appeal to you now as a mother because I'm sure that y'all probably sneak over here or Benny comes and watches them for you or somebody's seeing this video. Candus, I want to appeal to you as a mother. She was on your watch. Her whole 5 years, she's been your responsibility. Yours and Don's, but mostly yours. So please, just tell us what happened.
she loves to dance. She would always want me. She says, "Daddy, hold my hand so I can twirl," and she would just like to twirl and twirl and twirl till my arm got tired, But I put out there that one of Summer's favorite songs was Godzilla, and they say, and they're jumping all over me about past tense was, well, I'm sorry about that. It's just.
She also liked the song by New Breed. It was called House. My House. She sung that a lot of times when I play it on the TV. She loved to dance.
She liked to think of herself as a princess, and and all that, like all young girls do. And
she loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa,
and I think she really loved to be in church because she felt a lot of love there. And I think you can't explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, when you're young. And she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church. Or she loves everybody in that church. I should rephrase that, because they'll tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, and I hope she gets to be with our church family again.
Our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
Yeah, she looked up to women that were...
She come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
was pretty, beautiful.
She looked up to those kind of women. She, they were, the word I'm looking for, I can't think of it.
Let me help you out here. Could you be looking for the word godly, which means devoutly religious or pious? Maybe meek, which means humble and submissive. Or maybe well kept. Maybe attentive. I can help you out with a lot of words, Don. I'm a wordsmith. You might should have checked in to me as your PR person, because I could have done you a lot better. We could have stayed away from some things that you tend to keep going back to and dwelling on. I'm sure she did love Robin. Robin showed her all the attention in the world, all the love in the world. There was no anger. There was no hostility. She never had to feel like she done anything wrong. And church, she loved church because God loves her. And she knows God very well.
Was she at school yet?
No, she's going this year.
This was supposed to be her first year.
She's been, we did all the, what?
I took care of everything.
Yeah.
I had her already taken all of her shots and registered in the school ready for this year.
It was just a matter of time. The CPS case, if she had made it into school, just a matter of time. School was a threat to the continuation of these parents' freedom. Trust would have been built at school. The same things that were built at church would have been built with a teacher at school, with a good teacher. And I'm sure that Tennessee has some great teachers. And I just wanted to say here that a lot of my subscribers have said in my comments that they're sorry I have such a low opinion of Tennessee. I don't have a low opinion of Tennessee. My husband's people are from Tennessee, from right there. Right there. Dandridge, matter of fact. And I love Tennessee. Go about twice a year. But school would have been a threat. So let's move on.
I just never expected for anyone to get a hold of my heart like she has, because I try to guard my heart as much as I can, but she holds my heart in her little hands, and I love her with all my heart. I'd do anything to have her back. If there's any way you can find it in your heart to please release her somehow, I don't know how you might do that. I mean, you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her. Please let her come home. My biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her unfortunately, her downfall is a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person.
She loved to be outside.
And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything, and I'm afraid that she won't be able to, blocked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity. I just want to focus on the positive, because it's so easy to get, lost in that negativity and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So I appreciate y'all for the good things you say and your prayers. That's awesome.
Afraid that she may be locked up in a basement or a dungeon. Some interesting choice of words. Also, his choice of words with, "If you can find it in your heart to release her." He says the word mercy twice. He makes the statement that her loving the outdoors was her downfall. Personally, I can see that pain there. I see him recalling what happened in his face. And the look that Candus gives him when he says she might be dead is priceless. It's just priceless. But his biggest fear is that she won't be able to get back outside or ever play with her puppy again or anything like that. He's put her in the darkness because he knows. He knows more than he's saying. She knows. They're stumbling through this interview. And just when you think that this interview is over, because it looked like Don ended it right there. I mean, that pretty much was the last thing he said. I was expecting the outro for the news crew, but nah. They throw us another big clue. Watch this.
When my sister went missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too and bring her home safely too.
Yeah, there's nothing. She disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything, haven't found a body, nothing. And when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope. And I think, well, maybe we won't never see her again, so I start thinking in past tense. I'm sorry. But I'm trying to keep hope up. I'm trying to keep my prayers up and all that.
Well, she come out of the blue with that, didn't she? And that's where the famous clip comes in of Dawn telling her, "Your mother's watching you." She goes to speak about her sister being missing, and his comment to her is, "Your mother's watching you." Now, recently, it's been put out that she told a friend of hers, and again, this is hearsay, that she killed her sister. She was very insensitive to her mother when that was said. Allie said that, she told her she knew what day it was. It was the day that Rose disappeared. And it's been, over 10 years for Rose. So if you paid attention to what Dawn said after Candus said that she was somewhere between Arizona and wherever, and that she didn't even know what had happened, that she didn't have any details. But Dawn had details. Dawn had details like they never found a body. Would that be because it's impossible to find a body when there is not one? Or when someone has made it impossible to find it? There's been rumors that she is under the cement driveway at their house in Wisconsin. That would make it pretty impossible. Unless it's slipped out now and people know about it. And maybe they should jackhammer that driveway up. Maybe they should see what's under that driveway. I know that would take a lot of paperwork, and if they were wrong, they would look stupid. But what if she's under there? What if she's under there? All these things that are going around that make all this sense to me with the words that we pointed out in this video, such as elusive and impossible, abduction, accident, crime, cover up. Summer's not the only one talking on spirit boxes. Rose and Kenneth Bly talk on the spirit box all the time. Matter of fact, I speak with Rose and Kenneth on the spirit box more than I do Summer, because Summer has stopped coming on the spirit box. She comes in my dreams now, but she's just there. She's trying to show me something, and I don't know what it is. But Rose went missing. There's been conflicting stories on whether Don even knew her or not. Of course he knew her. She watched their children. Candus was her sister. Of course Don knew her. Of course Don had met her. It's only been, since 2009. Was that like 11 years, 11 and a half, going on 12 years? How long have y'all been together, Don, Candus? Do y'all know? You didn't know Summer's birthday one night. Do you know your wedding anniversary? I just want to thank everyone for watching this video and for listening to me put my opinion out there. God bless you, and please, let's bring Summer home. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It keeps us in the algorithm and keeps Summer's name out there for everyone to see. See y'all next time. If you have any information about Summer Moon Utah Wells, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND or the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department at 423-272-4848. Again, that's 1-800-TBI-FIND or 423-272-4848. Thank you.